Hey everyone, Gil here at graymanprepping. On this episode of Your Prep for Today, I want to talk to you about water storage containers. Yes, it's been a month since I've talked about water, so we're talking about water again. Alright, so I'm not going to talk to you about the big 55-gallon barrels, the 30-gallon drums, the 1,500-gallon tanks, the IBC totes you can get for storing water in. I'm talking about smaller stuff. All right, so I'm going to talk about first a 5-gallon water cube. Something you can put in your closet, you can stack them up, and you can store them. If you hunt around, you can find these at a fairly decent price, or you can pay a little bit more. You can just go down to Walmart or one of the sporting goods stores and get the ones that look like a jerry can, or you might be able to find some of these down there as well as square ones, and get those. Now that's not the only type of container you can use to store water in. Now ones like this are for potable water primarily. That's what you want to use them for. You want to spend the money on this for non-potable water. You want this for potable water. That means drinkable water. And one of the other things I do is I have a humidifier I have to add distilled water to. So I have to go out and buy distilled water. And I save the containers from the distilled water. And I refill them with tap water. And then I'll write tap on it here, so I know it's tap water, not distilled water. And I save those around too. Now, these containers themselves have a relatively short lifespan. If you put them in a closet or something where they're going to be away from the light, they last longer. If you do that, I would put these inside of another container in case one of them leaks. And you need to check on them every month or so to see if any of them are leaking. Now, and that gives you some tap water that you can use for drinking and cooking with as well. I also save all my glass jars, whether the big the Bragg's jars here, or it's the jelly jars, or the relish jars, the glass jars, the pasta sauce jars. I save them all. And those, you don't have to worry about the jar breaking down like you do with these. So those you can store, put them on the shelves, stack them and put them in boxes in the back of the closet, whatever, and you don't have to worry about those, breaking down and leaking everywhere. Now, for non-potable water, you can use the jelly jars, the pasta sauce jars, these jars, no problem. But for myself, I try to save those for potable water. For non-potable water, I use stuff like the juice bottles. These are heavy duty. These will last several years longer than the milk jugs. And milk jugs is another one that you can use for non-potable water. You don't want to put potable water in here. And just to remind you, potable water is what you drink and use for cooking. Non-potable water you use for laundry, flushing the toilet, taking showers, like that. Okay, and so there are all sorts of these heavier duty plastic ones. Your Gatorade bottles, or your regular juice bottles, any ones that are heavy. You can tell they're a lot thicker. In fact, this weighs almost as much. Maybe more than this, because it's a thicker, heavier duty plastic, and it's made to store what's in it longer too. All right, because the milk is usually, at the most I've ever seen the milk out is 18 days. It's the longest I've seen it when they brought it in fresh from the dairy. It's got 18 days best use by date on it. The juices, I've seen them with 2-3 year best by use dates on them. So that tells you right then, this is made for short-term products. The other ones are made for longer-term products. But in any case, you can use a lot of containers for non-potable water so you're not using your drinking water to take care of other business. All right? Okay, so before I take off, I'm going to put a link to my other channel, Camp Pat and Family Compound, where I got a couple good playlists on emergency preparedness over there. Put that link right up here. Then I'm going to put the link to the Prepping for Beginners and Prepping in Private, so you can share those with your friends that need to get prepared. Why? Well, this is why.